Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today, we are going to be talking about the sea, in particular, GLUBS, a sound library of the sea.
好，我们今天这篇文章的中文标题是科学家致力打造水下生物声音图书馆。
Now, don't worry, just because it's science, there will be more difficult vocabulary, but then you get to learn some new words.
Yay!
All right, so listen carefully as I read through it the first time. Most people know about the friendly squeaks of dolphins and the somber songs of humpback whales. But what about the hundreds of thousands of other creatures that live in the sea? Scientists estimate that over 100 types of marine mammals, as well as 1,000 different fish species, emit sounds. Additionally, many sea creatures produce passive sounds while eating, swimming, or crawling along the sea floor. A group of international scientists is now joining forces to create a library of all the unique sounds that animals living under the sea make. The Global Library of Underwater Biological Sounds, or GLUBS, will be an open-source collection of the signature sounds created by sea creatures. The team will use existing libraries of sea sounds and expand upon these to create a more comprehensive collection. The platform will also include AI algorithms that can detect and classify different sounds, which will allow scientists to produce species distribution maps. When asked about the motivation for this project, Miles Parsons, one of the project's leaders, pointed to the worldwide decline in biodiversity. By examining the sounds coming from bodies of water, scientists can monitor the changes in the distribution and diversity of various ecosystems. Studying the sounds could also be used to identify new species. Parsons explained that many of the world's most extensive habitats are aquatic. GLUBS could be a great resource in helping preserve water species around the world.
Okay, I just need to say that this acronym is in no way accidental. They went out of their way to figure out how to make the name of the library sound like glubs, because glub is the sound of a bubble of air coming up through the water. Glub. So they knew that, and they did this on purpose. I just want you guys to know.
Yeah, 好，这是 glub 这个声音 glub 好，这好像就是水底下泡泡冒出水面那种声音，所以他们把取名字的时候一定有费尽心思，取了一个名字，让这个名字它的缩写就变成 GLUBS 好，那就正好就是他们这个水下声音这个图书馆的一个名字。
Also, it's hilarious, and I love it.
Yeah, 而且很有趣，这个很多人看了会说哦，真有趣，很幽默 Yeah.
Okay, so most people know, this is the beginning of our article. Most people know about the friendly squeaks of dolphins. A squeak is a wee sound. And a somber song, the song of the humpback whales. It sounds like woo. Or I can't really do it. But it's somber. You don't think like joyful dancing. You think lonely sea nights. But what about the hundreds of thousands of other creatures that live in the sea, many of which produce sounds?
好，所以呢，大多数的人 know about， 他们知道。What's the difference between know and know about?
If you know something, it's in your brain, you can explain it. If you know about something, you'd be like, yeah, I heard of that. Let me look it up quick.
Know is to have complete comprehension of something. Know about could be like hear about, or you know something about. It's not total. You don't feel completely
Or you
charge.
could sort of, or another thing is you could sort of explain what it is, but you wouldn't have expertise on it in any way.
So if I know English, it's better than I know about English.
So say I was a Chinese native speaker. If I know English, I could use English to talk with you. If I know about English, I could be like, yeah, English, that's a foreign language that lots of people use. And I mean, I personally can't use it, but you can go talk to somebody who knows it.
所以这个 know 大概是就比较 结实比较扎实的知识，那 know about 可能只是听过或者是大概知道一下而已，没有办法讲得很清楚，所以有这个区别的。好，所以这里讲到说大多数的人呢大概都知道，可能不是很了解，但大概都知道这个 friendly 就是很友善的， squeaks 就是 giggle to give forth a short shrill sound， 所以那个是比较尖锐短短的一个声音 giggle
like mice squeak.
Exactly.
Yeah， 像老鼠，各位就可以想老鼠那个叫声的那个就是 squeaks。好，然后呢，或者是这个是海豚发出的那个声音，还有呢 somber 本来是忧郁的意思，但这里就忧郁低沉的感觉，就那 humpback 就是座头鲸 humpback whales， 所以大家都知道这两种海洋生物的这个声音，因为我们大概可能都就算没听过也知道他们会发出这种声音。所以呢 But what about the hundreds of thousands of other creatures that live in the sea？ 大多数人可能都听说过这个海豚啊，还有这个鲸鱼的叫声等等的，但是呢 What about 那其他的怎么样呢？有没有听过呢？那其他的什么呢？就是 hundreds of thousands of 就是数十万，所以 100,000 是10万，所以 hundreds of thousands of 就是数十万的其他的生物 creatures。 那什么样的生物呢？ That live in the sea 就住在海里面的，生活在海里的其他的生物，他们的叫声有听过吗？是这个意思。
Scientists estimate that over 100 types of marine mammals, as well as 1,000 different fish species, emit sounds. Marine mammals would be like whales and dolphins and sea lions and so on. Fish we know, but I don't think this is correct. It's certainly many, many, many thousands of different fish species will make sounds particular to themselves. I wonder if they forgot a zero.
Well, maybe they're talking about produce sounds like with some sort of vocal cord or thing, as opposed to the sound they make by moving with their bodies. Like it's an intentional sound production rather than a byproduct of movement.
Yeah. 好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说，这个科学家估计超过100种的这个海洋的哺乳类 mammals 就是哺乳类，那同时有大概1000种不同的鱼的种类 fish species， 然后他们都会怎么样 emit sounds。 emit 是发出来的意思，那个 emit 这个字根就是 send S-E-N-D 的意思，那 ease out 就 send out 就是 emit。 好，那 emit sounds 就是 give sounds 或者 send out sounds 的意思，那所以他们会发出声音。那刚刚Bruce老师说其实应该不止1000种鱼类会发出声音，但是这个重点是在这里怎么样 define 它的 emit sound 是什么意思，是主动发出来呢，还是说它的动作等等的会发出的声音。所以在这里我们作者说有大概1000种的鱼，还有100种的海洋哺乳类，他们会 emit sounds。So
this kind of gets covered in the next sentence, because then it says, additionally, many sea creatures produce passive sounds, like unintentionally created sounds while eating, like or swimming, or crawling along the sea floor. So there's intentional sounds like the fish is trying to communicate something, or there is unintentional sounds that come from their daily activities.
好，所以我们下面一个句子其实就处理到这个问题了。他说呢 additionally 此外有很多的 sea creatures 海洋生物 creatures 在这里是指生物，他们会 produce 会发出 passive sounds 就是被动的声音。什么叫被动的声音呢？就他们不是主动的发声，而是他们在做这些行为的时候会发出声音。例如说怎么样 eating 他们在吃东西的时候， swimming 他们在游泳的时候，或者是 crawling 他们在爬行 along the sea floor 在沿着这个海底爬行，在吃东西在游泳等等的时候呢，他们可能也会发出声音。
A group of international scientists is now joining forces to create a library of all the unique sounds that animals living under the sea make. So these international scientists from many different countries are cooperating, they're working together. They have an interest in making a sound library for whatever reasons, maybe to identify certain species of animals that live in the ocean, or just because it's cool, I don't know, but I think it's a great idea.
好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说，这个 a group of international scientists 有一群国际科学家，现在怎么样 is now joining forces 他们合作合力 to 做什么事情呢？他们要 create a library 他们要建制一个图书馆。什么图书馆呢？ A library of all the unique sounds 所有的这些独特的声音 什么样独特的声音呢？是 all the unique sounds that animals living under the sea 就住在水底下住在海里面的这些生物他们会 make 他们会发出的声音。You know, I always wonder, you say under the sea quite often in English. Well, if you're under the sea, you're under the seafloor, right?
You're under the sea level.
Okay, so sea means here it means sea level. So can we say living in the sea?
Yeah.
You're technically correct. However, language is never completely logical.
Okay. 所以呢，这个地方其实我一直觉得很好奇，就是英文会讲 under the sea， 但是我一直在想 sea， 你如果在海的底下，不就到海床里面去了吗？但是呢，这个 Angela 老师讲得很好，这个没错，逻辑上是这样，但是英文他们就是会说 under the sea。那不过刚刚这个我也有请教这个我们刚刚问的 Bruce 老师，你也可以讲 in the sea， living in the sea 也可以，但是 living under the sea 也很 common。
Under the sea floor is where volcanoes start erupting.
所以如果是这个海床海底下的话，那就是火山啊什么会跑出来的地方。Yeah.
So we started off by telling you the rationale for why this library should exist, and now we're going to directly describe the library. So it is called the Global Library of Underwater Biological Sounds, or GLUBS. They so did this on purpose, yes. And I love it. And so this library will be an open source collection. Oh, what is a collection is when you put everything together in one spot. But what is an open source collection? It means that it can be added to. I bet there's going to be some mechanism by which people can add to their collection. They can contribute resources to this library. And it's a collection of what, though? It's a collection of the signature sounds created by sea creatures. Now, I love that they're calling it a signature sound because usually when we say a signature something, it means it's specific to that thing. So like this is a signature dish from our chef. Like it's a special dish that our chef created. It's usually done for human professionals. But now we're applying this word for human professionals to animals that are professionally themselves, I guess. But anyways, what it means is the particular sound made by that particular animal.
好，所以呢，这个英文全名是全球水下生物声音图书馆，或者是 or 简称 GLUBS。那它 will be 它将会是一个 an open source collection 就是一个馆藏一个收藏。那但是 open source 就是 open to public participation， 叫做 open source， 就是你大家都可以贡献的。所以你可能你录到了一个很特别的一种海洋生物的声音，你就可以把它捐给这个博物馆或者给这个博物馆那它 collection of 它收集的什么东西呢？是 the signature sounds created by sea creatures， 由海洋生物所发出的那些 signature sounds。 signature 这个字呢本来就是签名的意思，那用来当复合名词的前面的形容词的时候，意思就是就好像是你的签名一样，那是独一无二的，别人一看到你的签名就知道是你。所以 signature sounds 是独特的声音，一听到这个声音懂的人一听到这声音就知道这个是某一种生物，那个叫做 signature sounds。
The team will use existing libraries of sea sounds and expand upon these to create a more comprehensive collection. So already some scientists around the world have collected sounds, but they haven't really put it all together yet.or made it clear to the public how they might participate in this collecting of sea sounds.
好，所以呢，这个 team 他们会用 existing 就是现有的 libraries of sea sounds 就是现有的这海洋声音的这些图书馆，他们会用这些，然后呢 expand upon these 就是 existing libraries of sea sounds， 他们expand upon 就是以这些为基础来扩展，然后呢to 目的是要 create 要建制一个 a more comprehensive collection， comprehensive 就是全面的，希望能够建立一个更全面的一个收藏品，或者是这馆藏更全面，包括更多的 sea sounds。
So besides adding almost every kind of library of animal sounds in that they can, there's another feature to this which is also interesting. The platform, so this collection, this library collection, will also include AI algorithms. So an algorithm is a particular, basic computer program that has a very special function. And these algorithms can detect and classify different sounds. So if you can detect something, it means you can recognize it. And if you can classify it, you can say what it is. And so they will be able to listen to, basically, you can play the sound, and it will quote unquote, listen to it. And then it will go, oh, that's a blah, blah, blah animal. And so this will allow scientists to produce species distribution maps. So it's not just for the retail level of some person going, oh, what kind of animal is this? They're going to be able to feed data from scientific studies in and easily pinpoint where all of the animals exist on the map based on the data. And that kind of labor-saving device is very important for understanding and estimating ocean populations, and especially now that our climate is changing so rapidly and everything is different all the time, we have to keep track of species. And so using microphones to record species sounds and then using AI to decide which species were where at what time is going to be a good diagnostic tool for the health of our oceans.
所以呢，这个 platform 这个平台它也会包含这个 AI 的就是人工智慧的演算法。那这些演算法可以 detect 可以侦测可以辨认还有 classify 分类不同的声音。那这样的一件事情就可以 allow 使得这个 scientist 得以如何呢？让 scientist 得以 produce 制作出来一个 species distribution maps， 就是物种的分布 distribution 就是分布的一个地图。所以因为它如果说每一种生物它有独特的声音的话，那他们只要把海底面的声音录起来，那由 AI 的演算法就可以算出来，然后就可以知道说哪些地方有哪些物种在那边。所以这个是对于科学研究很有用的一种这个结果。
Okay, our last paragraph. When asked about the motivation for this project, why are you doing this? Miles Parsons, one of the project's leaders, he's a member and a leader within GLUBS, pointed to the worldwide decline in biodiversity. 越来越少 species that we know about. I think that's true of the land. I'm not so sure if that's true of oceans, though. We have mapped the moon. We have not yet mapped all the land that oceans cover. So there's far more that we don't know about.
It's,
I'm
it's no longer
here,
space the final frontier. It's oceans
really,
the final frontier.
Absolutely.
所以这个最后的边疆 final frontier 不是太空，其实是我们的海洋。好，所以我们看到他说 when asked about， 就当别人问他的时候，注意到这个 asked 是被动的，所以当他被问到的时候，关于什么呢？当他被问到关于 the motivation 他的动机 for this project 这一个计划的动机是什么，别人问他的时候呢，那这个 Miles Parsons 他是这个 project 的领导者之一，他 pointed to 就是他指出 the worldwide 全世界的 decline 下降，在哪方面的下降呢？在这个 biodiversity 就生物多样性，换句话说很多物种正在消失，所以生物多样性全球生物多样性都在下降当中。
So by examining the sounds coming from bodies of water, what's a body of water? It's an area of water that's considered to be contiguous with itself. So like the Indian Ocean, of course it's connected to the Arctic Ocean and to the Atlantic Ocean and to the Pacific Ocean, but it's a specific area that when we say Indian Ocean, we mostly know what area of the planet we're talking about. So what area of the water we're talking about. So water is kind of divided into regional areas. And so that's what we mean when we talk about bodies of water. So by examining the sounds coming from these various places in the oceans, scientists can then monitor the changes. If you monitor something you pay attention to, you observe it, and you also record the changes in the distribution and diversity of various ecosystems. Distribution is who is where, and diversity is which kinds are where of all the different ecosystems, all the different, life
生态系统
the life systems that exist in the water.
好，所以呢 by examining 你检视一下 the sounds 这些声音 coming from 来自于 bodies of water， 这个地方是复数，所以这个地方讲的其实是不同的水域。 A body of water 那就是一个水域，就它有一些特性，这一个地区的这个水呢它有一些特性，所以我们检视来自于不同的水域的这些声音。那这样子的话呢，科学家就可以 monitor 可以监测 the changes in 就是一些改变，在哪方面的改变呢？他们可以监测这些改变，在哪方面的改变呢？在 the distribution 分布，还有 diversity 多样性 of various ecosystems， 在不同的生态系统的分布还有多样性上面有什么改变？那 科学家就可以监测，因为他们如果检视这些来自不同水域的声音，他们就可以知道说这个生态系统它的分布不同生态系统的分布还有它的多样性有哪些的改变。
Studying the sounds could also be used to identify new species. And for that, I think their using of the AI algorithms will come in very handy.
好，然后呢，你研究这些声音也可以被用来干嘛呢？ Identify 用来辨认 new species 一些新的物种。如果有新的物种的话，你听到这个声音不一样，那可能就是新的物种了。
So Parsons explained that many of the world's most extensive, meaning large and spread out and broad and kind of hard to explore, so many of these most not expensive, but extensive habitats are aquatic. So the world's habitats that are the hardest to explore and understand are mostly under the oceans because, water. This is kind of hard to explore for us because we don't breathe water.
Yeah.
Life started in the oceans.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and then it went back in, and then it went out, and then it went back in. We have a real relationship with oceans.
Yeah, 我只注意到刚刚各位有没有注意到 Angela 是讲 under the ocean 这个刚才 under the sea 一样的用法under the ocean. Yeah.OK， 我们这里看到他说呢，这个 Parsons 他怎么样 explain that 他解释说，很多这个世界上最 extensive 是很辽阔的广阔的 habitats 栖息地，其实都是 aquatic， 就是跟水有关的。也就是说，这个世界上很多的很大的栖息地，其实在海底下的，在海水底下或在海水里面的。那这个是我们需要去多研究的。
GLUBS could be a great resource in helping preserve water species around the world.Once you recognize what something is, then you can begin to know how to protect it, how to make conditions better for it so it will continue to live.
Yeah, 所以 GLUBS could be 它可能可以是个 a great resource 很棒的一个资源。在哪方面的资源呢？ In helping 它可以用来帮助 preserve 就是保育或者保存 water species 水中的物种 around the world 它可以用来帮助我们保育全世界水中的这些物种。
Okay, so, of course, we have questions for you. So number 1 is, which of the following is true about sea creature sounds?
以下哪一项关于海洋生物的声音的叙述是正确的？
And number C is, at least 1,000 different species of fish produce sounds, like we're talking about intentional sounds.
好，所以我们选 C， 因为 C 讲说有1000个不同的鱼类的物种会发出声音。
Number 2, how will AI be used in the library?
这个水下生物声音图书馆中，它会如何的使用这个人工智慧？
The answer is D. It can help classify the different collected sounds.
答案是 D， 人工智慧可以帮助我们分类不同收集到的声音。
And number 3, what reason did Miles Parsons give for creating the sound library?
好 Miles Parsons 他这个创建这个水下生物声音图书馆的原因是什么呢？
I just want to point out that he is not the creator of it. He's one of the creators. He's just kind of the one quoted in the article.
Yeah.
So why did they create the sound library? And the answer is A, because biodiversity is decreasing around the world and they want to kind of monitor that.
好，所以答案是 A， 因为全球生物的多样性正在下降。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Hope you learned a bit and enjoyed a lot. And we'll be back next month with some more programs.
Yay.
Till then.
Bye-bye.